Clara Bow was America's first it girl, and Taylor Swift, Miss Americana herself, fittingly named a song after her. So, who was the woman that was one of the best-known faces of the Roaring Twenties? Let's find out. Clara Gordon Bow was born on July 29, 1905 in Brooklyn, New York. The third child of Sarah and Robert Bow, she was born in a bleak, sparsely furnished room above a dilapidated Baptist church. Growing up, her family moved frequently around New York, and her father was often out of work and not around. When Clara's mother was 16, she fell out of a window and suffered a severe head injury that later led to an epilepsy diagnosis. As a child, Clara learned to take care of her mother during seizures as well as episodes of psychosis and hostility. Clara later reflected that, as a kid, I took care of my mother. She didn't take care of me. One snowy night in 1922, during an episode, Clara's mother attacked her. Clara was able to fend off the attack and locked her mother in a room. Shortly after, her mother was committed to a sanitarium, and Clara seldom spoke of the incident due to the pain that it caused. Growing up, Clara was teased by other students due to her worn-out clothes. About her childhood, she said, "I never had any clothes, and lots of times didn't have anything to eat. We just lived, that's about all. Girls shunned me because I was so poorly dressed." She was also very interested in sports and originally planned on becoming an athletics instructor. However, at age 16, Clara changed her mind and decided that she wanted to become an actress. In the early 1920s, about half of the American population went to the movies weekly, and Clara was no exception. In 1921, she entered Brewster's annual Fame and Fortune contest, which she won. The publisher promised that they would help her get a role in a film, but nothing happened. Her father supported her dreams of becoming an actress and told her to keep bothering Brewster's until something happened. She was eventually cast in Beyond the Rainbow. However, her scenes were cut from the final film, which was released in February 1922. Clara started to think that maybe her unsupportive mother was right, and that she just wasn't cut out to be an actress. By that time, she had already dropped out of high school and was working an office job, but her father encouraged her not to give up on her dreams. The director for Down to the Sea and Ships saw Clara's picture in Motion Picture Classic magazine, which I'm assuming was from the contest that she won, and asked her to audition. At first, he didn't believe that she was the same girl from the magazine, but she eventually impressed him. He offered her $35 a week, but she countered with $50, to which he agreed. The film premiered in September 1922, and Clara got stellar reviews, which eventually led to more and more roles. She eventually caught the eye of Hollywood producer Jack Bachman, who offered her a 3-month trial contract at $50 a week. Her first big Hollywood film was Maytime, which was released in 1923, and Clara quickly became an in-demand actress. By New Year 1924, Clara had moved her father and her boyfriend Arthur Jacobson to Hollywood, and her boyfriend Arthur got a job at the studio. However, when the studio found out that he and Clara were living together, they fired him, worried about a scandal. When Clara found out that Arthur had been fired, she tore up her contract and said that the studio could not run her private life. Clara started getting bigger and bigger roles, and by August 1924, she had her first starring role in the Prohibition comedy Wine. She became a versatile actress, as comfortable in a tomboy role as she was as a flapper or a boxer. On April 12, 1926, Clara signed a 6-month contract with Paramount Pictures for June to December 1926 at $750 a week. She also negotiated that her contract not include a morals clause that was meant to restrain the behavior of their actors. On August 16, 1926, her contract was renewed for 5 years, starting at $1,700 a week and advancing to $4,000 a week the last year. In 1927, she starred in the movie It, based off of Cinderella. In the movie, she plays a poor shop girl who wins over the heart of her employer. From the movie, she got the nickname the It Girl. In the late 1920s, as Hollywood transitioned from silent films to talkies, Clara was able to retain her position as the queen of Hollywood and one of its top earners. However, she hated the change. By 1931, she was succumbing to the pressures of fame, public scandals, and burning out due to overworking. She was also involved in a court battle with her former secretary who had been mismanaging funds. She requested that Paramount release her from her contract, and they agreed after she did her final movie with them, City Streets, in 1931. She was then taken to a sanitarium, and by 25, her career was pretty much over. She moved to her boyfriend and fellow actor Rex Bell's ranch in Nevada and married him in December of that year in Las Vegas. She then decided to return to Hollywood to make enough money to retire from the movies. She shot 2 films for Fox, the last being Hoopla, which was released in 1933, and then retired from acting. She and Rex had 2 sons, and Rex later became the lieutenant governor of Nevada. In 1937, they opened the It Cafe together in the Hollywood Plaza Hotel, however it closed in 1943. Clara began to show signs of psychiatric illness and checked into the Institute for Living, a psychiatric hospital, in 1949. There, she was diagnosed with schizophrenia. After checking out of the institute, she decided not to return to her family, and instead lived alone in a bungalow in Los Angeles until she passed away in 1965 at the age of 60. She was truly one of Hollywood's brightest stars, and her films are still enjoyed by audiences over a century later.